What's happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and we're playing a little bit as Black Widow, and that is because I can't play a video game for the movie Lucy, which I saw this weekend, and it was quite an interesting movie. So I figured that since I wanted something to go with the review that wasn't just a bunch of pictures of Scarlett Johansson, which, to be completely honest, wouldn't be a terrible thing. I figured doing some Black Widow gameplay over it would be a decent enough idea. So hope you guys get it. And yeah. So Lucy, man, I've been seeing the trailers for Lucy for a little while now, and it looked like quite the fascinating movie. It was written and directed by Luc Besson, who is known for a number of movies and series and stuff like that. The Family, Leon the Professional, the Transporter series, Taken with Liam Neeson, love that movie. Fifth Element, La Femme Nikita, amongst others. I mean, I'm just kind of going through the laundry list of stuff you can find on IMDb. Interesting guy, interesting, movie. Starring, of course, Scarlett Johansson. Interestingly enough, the movie was originally going to be a movie for Angelina Jolie, but I guess she kind of passed it up last minute or something. So Scarlett Johansson got the nod. To be honest with you, I would love to have seen it with Angelina Jolie. Seems like she would have done a great job with it. Not that I don't like Scarlett Johansson, but I can see how this movie might have been made, very specifically for her. So we'll see. I mean, I guess there's really not a whole lot you can do about it now. But, Scarlett did a good job with it. She was a little dry at times, but I think that's what the character was kind of going for. It was trying to play off the fact that she was losing her humanity and all that good stuff. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. There obviously, as all my reviews go, there's going to be spoilers. So if you want to just go watch the movie before listening to my review, that's completely understandable. And to be honest with you, probably encouraged, because I don't want anybody to get mad that I spoiled it for them. But I guess that's the risk you kind of take when you go to the internet for stuff like this. It was a good movie. I would say it's not anything like what I expected. I mean, when you see the trailers, you kind of think you're going to get one thing, and I feel like I kind of got a lot of things. It's an action flick. It's a sci-fi flick. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a drama. I mean, there's a lot to kind of take in. If I could describe the movie in one word, that word would be mindfuck. Yeah. It was just such an odd movie, and there's just so much going on. There's just a lot to take in. The basic premise for the movie is that Lucy, it starts off with a kind of a drug deal gone bad. She's seeing some guy that she's literally only known for a week. Apparently he's a drug runner, and he's dealing with this guy named Mr. Jang, and he has to deliver some drug package, and for whatever reason he cons Lucy into doing it against her will. She's petrified. She has no idea what's going on. But Mr. Jang is clearly a bad dude. Just kind of saying his name at the hotel that he's staying at kind of brings out like all the people at the reception desk are just petrified of it. So it kind of sets up the vibe right away that she's kind of in over her head. On top of that, I don't remember what the guy's name was that she was kind of dating or whatever. But when he's kind of waiting outside the hotel, looking at her talk to the people at the reception desk, and shoot, get out of here. All right, cool. So out of nowhere, he just gets lit up, like blood splattered all over the window. She's freaking out. All these big goons come flying out of an elevator and bring her up to Mr. Jang. She walks into the hotel room, and Mr. Jang has like some dead bodies twitching at his feet, and she's freaking out. So I mean, right off the bat, they're kind of establishing that there's some bad things going on here, and she is completely out of her league. She's just a girl, like a young girl. I mean, I think they kind of establish her as being kind of college age. from what I can tell, anyway. I don't know exactly what the setup is. I don't know if it's somewhere in Asia. You know, I think it's Taiwan, but you know, they mentioned that the people in Mr. Jang's kind of group are speaking Korean, so I'm not exactly sure what is, you know, the deal there, what exactly is supposed to be going on, or where they're supposed to be. So, from what I understand, I think they're in Taiwan, but it could be somewhere in Korea. I don't know. Mr. Jang runs kind of like some type of a triad type operation, you know, where you know, he's a drug runner essentially. I mean, he's a drug dealer, and he's basically he's got some weird bluish, you know, drug that he's trying to you know, get out of the country into Paris, into Germany and Italy, a couple different places, I believe, and he's basically got a bunch of hostages that he's going to essentially put the drugs in their bodies and have them kind of drug mule it out to wherever they need to go at the threat of their families, so their family's safety, I should say. So it's an interesting concept for the movie. It's definitely a trip, that's for sure. And trying to concentrate on like a million things right now. And you know, essentially, you know, Lucy's in over her head. She's petrified, and she has no choice but to kind of go through with it. And so that obviously is kind of the setup for what happens. So as she's being held captive, she kind of gets assaulted while she's being held, getting ready for her flight. And the drugs that are inside of her, the bag breaks and starts leaking inside of her, and she starts having like a chemical reaction, and essentially it ends up starting to unlock all of the capacity of her brain. Like, for whatever reason, that is the reaction that this drug has for her. It doesn't have it for anybody else, but you know, because Mr. Jang has tested the drug on other people there, and you know, they end up dying because of it. So I don't know, it's kind of weird how it ends up working out, like how her body reacts that way, but that's kind of when the sci-fi aspect of it comes in. So enter Morgan Freeman, who plays a professor somewhere in Paris, you know, by the name of Professor what's his name, Professor Norman. And his specialty is, you know, the human brain. He hypothesizes that as people unlock the full capacity of their brain, they could do weird and crazy things. And he is right. So because Lucy is, you know, becoming so aware of everything, she's able to, like, because of this, you know, reaction, she's able to you know, read things super fast. She teaches herself, you know, Chinese and Korean or whatever in like a few minutes. She touches her roommate and figures out that her roommate is having like liver failure, and writes her a prescription to get herself taken care of. It's pretty intense. You kind of figure out right away exactly what's happening, and you know, she's just becoming very, very powerful very fast. And she basically seeks out Professor, what's his name again? Professor Norman, and she's making plans to get to Paris, and so she can meet up with him and figure out what she's going to do to unlock the rest of her brain, because she feels like she's dying, essentially. I mean, that's what it comes down to. She can tell, because of, you know, just how much of her brain she is unlocking, that she is dying very quickly, and she says she gives herself less than 24 hours to live. So it's very important to get there, so that she can help, you know, him understand the human brain, because she understands that it's like her only hope for survival is pretty much him. And for some reason, she also knows that she needs to, you know, get the rest of those drugs, because what she has is not going to be enough for her to unlock 100% of her brain. So yeah, that's when the sci-fi elements of it all kick in, and they keep having all these like cut scenes and everything where they go to nature and you know, stuff like that, you know, throughout evolution. Beware, there are scenes where you see lots of, you know, basically animal porn, is what it comes down to. You know, where I will never for the rest of my life forget seeing two rhinos fucking in the middle of a movie. That is definitely not an image I ever wanted to see, you know, even if I was accidentally watching National Geographic. It was kind of ridiculous, and I feel like a part of me has been violated, to be completely honest. So yeah, it was interesting, but what can you do, I guess. So just beware, that is going to happen. It is rated R after all. So yeah. So long story short, there is the action aspect of it. There is the sci-fi aspect of it, you know, because it's a bit of a gang movie, where, you know, Mr. Jang's gang is chasing down Lucy. Lucy reaches out to a French police officer. You know, I don't remember his name, to be honest with you, but she basically tells him everything that's going on. Because she's able to, you know, see things. She's, you know, able to, like, when she meets up with Professor Norman, she basically takes control of his, you know, communications. You know, puts herself on his computer and his TV screen, all that kind of stuff, just to prove to him, hey, I am who I am. She's influencing everything around her. She does the same thing to the police captain, and basically, you know, is like, hey, you know, you gotta, these guys are gonna be hustling in some drugs. You need to get them, and you need to get them to me, and blah 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 blah. So, you know, they end up get out of the way, damn it. So long story short, it all comes down in Paris, and you know, Lucy ends up in Paris with this police officer. I'm gonna die because I'm the only one here, and there's just everything going on, and that was close. So yeah, oh, wow, I'm getting fucked up. So the police officer ends up tracking down all of the other drug runners, and as you know, Mr. Jang, you know, told them, you know, we will have all eyes on you. We'll know whether or not you know, follow through with doing this. So don't try to run. We know your families, and they will pay for this. We will kill them all. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff. So Lucy, her plan ends up working out. I mean, it's kind of weird and crazy. It's just all sort of out of nowhere. She becomes almost like a Jedi, and she's, you know, lifting people off the ground and all that kind of stuff. And they're tripping out. I mean, because they have no idea what's going on. You know, the police captain is just completely blown away. You know, as you would expect in a situation like that. Lucy, who has never driven a car before, has this intense chase scene. So like I said, the movie's all over the place, and it is a bit of a mind fuck. It becomes more and more sci-fi as it becomes just as action. So it just goes back and forth from being a sci-fi movie, an action movie. It just doesn't know what it wants to be, other than just a trippy, you know, movie that just fucks with your mind. Graphically and visually, it's pretty stunning. I mean, there's lots of really cool, you know, scenes where, oh my god, my inventory is full. There's lots of really cool scenes where, you know, you could tell that somebody spent a lot of time, you know, visually, you know, making it look like, you know, the universe and, you know, atmospheric and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, that's kind of cool, but and that's where you're kind of trippy. Like, if I've never done a drug in my life, But if you watch this movie when you were high, you would probably be tripping balls. I mean, it's that kind of a movie. It's just really intense and crazy, and just so much going on, so much to try to take in. I'm not really sure what the ultimate message is, but I mean, it's a weird sci-fi movie. I mean, that's what it comes down to, and you know, it's definitely a movie that you'll remember. You know, essentially in the end, she turns herself into basically a supercomputer. It's so weird, and she spits out a little USB drive that basically is everything she knows about what just kind of happened, and you know, the police officer who she kissed once apparently is completely in love with her at that point, and is like, where is she, where is she? And all that he gets is a text message on his flip phone that says, I'm everywhere. So it ends really strangely. You know, she ends up like going back in time. They show that the first ever female was like a monkey named Lucy, and they show her going back in time to that monkey, and they touch fingers, and it's, I don't know. I don't really know what he was going for, Besson, but it was just a weird, trippy sci-fi movie. I mean, I would not, if I had seen it already, like if I knew what I was in for, I would have just waited for it to come out on, like, you know, DVD or Blu-ray or whatever you want to call it. Not really something I would tell anybody, hey, run out to the movies and see. But I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's actually, you know, a decent movie, but I just I don't know. I just couldn't, like, it kept my attention. It wasn't too long. It was 90 minutes. You know, all that stuff, you know, is true. It's definitely keeps you on your toes. You're always trying to figure out what's going on, but there's just so many times where I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, I know that my my kind of synopsis of the whole story is kind of all over the place, but it's kind of with a reason. I mean, the movie in general is in fact all over the place. So, you know, I guess that is what it is, but I don't know, man. It was just a really trippy movie. Just so much going on. I don't know what the overall message is. I mean, Scarlett Johansson was decent. Morgan Freeman was Morgan Freeman, which means he was fantastic, because he always is. Pretty sure he plays the same character in every movie. But I mean, it was an interesting movie. I mean, and I just don't know what to make of it, I guess. It's just such a crazy, you know, mind fuck. Like, literally, I keep coming back to it being just a total mind fuck. And, you know, I'm okay with that. I mean, I like those kind of trippy movies. There's nothing too wrong with it being like that, but I don't know, man. It was just definitely a movie you kind of have to see, but at the same time, a movie that you could very, very easily miss and forget and all that stuff. I would say if I had to give it a ranking, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Maybe a 6.5 out of 10. Actually, yeah, I'd say 6.5. It's not quite a 7. I mean, it's an above average movie. If you're into action flicks, there's a lot of action there you're going to like. If you're into sci-fi stuff, I mean, not like, you know, space and aliens and all that, but just something very sci-fi-ish, I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you're a pothead and you want to get high as fuck and go watch a movie and trip your balls off, go see this movie. Or I would say, better yet, wait until it's on like Blu-ray or something and watch it then, because it's just all over the place. And I can only imagine that would just enhance the experience. Not that I'm advocating drug use by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm also realistic, and I realize that a lot of people, most people are not like me. Like I said, I'm 33 years old, and I've never done any form of drug in my life, and I have no intention of ever doing it. But I have lots of friends that smoke weed, and I don't think smoking weed is really that big of a deal. You know, so if that's your thing, then this is the type of movie you would do it to, because it's kind of trippy. I think it definitely enhances Scarlett Johansson's profile a little bit. I mean, you know, she's a kind of a leading lady here. I mean, really, her and Morgan Freeman are the only people selling this movie. Everybody else involved in this movie, from what I can tell, are relative unknowns. I don't know if I've ever seen the guy that played Mr. Jang before. I don't even know what his name is, but you know, not a very star-packed movie. You know, I think their budget was only $40 million. They made that more than that in its first weekend. So I mean, in that regards, I guess it's a success. You made your money back. So, I guess if you consider that, I mean, it. Maybe I'm back up to a 7. I talked myself back up to a 7 because really, you know, they made a movie with Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman, and a bunch of extras, you know, as far as I'm concerned. And they made it very interesting. They made it very well. Definitely kept me interested. It was a good job. It's just so weird and so trippy, and you just kind of have to like feel it out and get used to it. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I was just really all over the place. I walked out of the movie, went to see it with Aubrey, and you know, we kind of just looked at each other and were like, "What did we just see?" You know, it was just one of those kind of movies where we didn't even talk about it for a few minutes because it was just so trippy and crazy. And I mean, it's worth seeing. I just don't know if it's worth, you know, seeing in the movies. So we will we'll see what happens, I guess. I mean, definitely check it out. If you feel like anything that I said was interesting, if you're into sci-fi stuff, action. I mean, like I said, if it was just an action movie, you know, it could have been really good. And I honestly went into it expecting more action than sci-fi, but like it just kind of like, as the drugs start, you know, developing, as her brain starts going from 20% to 40% to 60% to 80%, as that starts growing, like the sci-fi element of it kind of increases. It's a little convenient that almost everything that Morgan Freeman predicts ends up kind of happening as she does it, and he just has no idea what happens when she hits 100%, which apparently means she becomes a supercomputer that looks like a futuristic, you know, diamond or triangular shaped weird thing. So I don't know, man. It was an interesting movie, and I can say feel free to check it out. I mean, 7 out of 10 isn't bad. It's just a weird movie, man. Just weird. And I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think it was well made. The story it tells is just a mind fuck. That's what I'm going with. Describing it in one word, mind fuck. And I guess maybe for a lot of people that's a good thing. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I think it made me very scatterbrained because, I mean, the movie is so scatterbrained. But, you know, it's in theaters now. I saw it in, like, I don't know what type of theater it is. It's not a Showcase. It's, but the theater it was in was one of the special ones that had, like, the Dolby Atmos system where it had, like, 60 speakers. And it was actually, like, I'm pretty stoked. Like, I didn't realize they had that at this theater, and it's a theater I go to the most. And just the sound was phenomenal. And I feel like I ended up really more excited about the movie than possible because of the fact that it had that Dolby Atmos system, you know, in that theater, and the screen was massive. So I can only imagine how awesome Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be on Thursday when I see it at IMAX. So if you have that opportunity, definitely, you know, do the full experience. Cost a couple dollars more, but it's worth it for any movie, not just this one. But hey, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. It's a weird, crazy mindfuck of a movie, and if you're thinking about seeing it, just keep in mind it's not a pure action movie. It's also not a pure sci-fi movie. You will see rhinoceroses fucking, and you will also see other animals having intercourse. So yeah, be prepared. Things I could have lived. I mean, as my buddy Madman says, that was pretty high up on the list of shit I didn't want to see. So, all right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you see the movie, I would love to hear about what you guys think. So leave some comments below, and look out for my Guardians of the Galaxy review, possibly Friday. Playing as Star-Lord, hopefully. And we'll catch you up later. See ya.